Hello, I'm Gordon Lane, editor of CameraLabs.com. I'd like to give you a brief video tour around the Olympus E-510 digital SLR. Here it is, the E-510. It's the successor to the E-500 and one of the most feature-packed digital SLRs on the market today. This camera features anti-dust, built-in anti-shake that works with any lens you attach, and also live view facilities that actually allow you to use the main colour screen for composition, just like a compact camera. It comes very soon after the Olympus E-410, and from the front it looks quite similar, but there's one very big difference, and you only have to look at it from above to see what that is. The E-410 was fairly retro styled and had a flat front, but the E-510 is much more conventional looking as a digital SLR, and you can see there that it really does have a decent sized grip to hold on to. So a lot of people are going to find this camera a lot more comfortable to hold, and it's certainly a lot more comfortable when you're using it with bigger, heavier lenses. Although, if you do still want the smallest, lightest digital SLR on the market, the E-410 is certainly the one to go for. In terms of build quality, the E-510 is pretty much the same as the E-410. There might be more to hold on to here, but the quality is pretty much the same. It's a plastic body, glass reinforced, but it feels very solid, very smooth. There's no creaks to worry about. It's built to quite a high standard, and you can also see from the finish here that it's got a kind of textured effect to it. It may be plastic like, say, the Canon 400D XTI, but it looks a lot less plasticky and shiny because of the surface finish that Olympus has given it. But there's so much to show you and tell you about the E-510. Let's get straight to the demonstration. We're outside with the Olympus E-510, so the first thing to do is to switch it on, and you'll notice when I do that a little blue light flashes in the top left corner. That's the anti-dust system working. That's the only indication you'll see of it working in practice. Now if we have a look at the back of the screen here, you'll see that the E-510 presents a great deal of information on the back. This is exactly the same as what you'll see with the E-410, except there's one big difference. If you have a look at the back of the camera, you'll notice that the buttons to the right of it do now actually give you direct access to certain settings. For example, if we push this button up, we get direct access to the white balance menu. If we press the button at the bottom, we get direct access to the ISO menu. So in that respect it works just like most other digital SLRs, but the E-510 also allows you to adjust the settings in the same way as the E-410, and this can be very effective in practice. The way that works is you press the OK button in the middle of the 4 direction buttons first, and you'll notice that the ISO value on the screen there has become highlighted yellow. Now you can actually use the thumb dial to directly adjust this setting if you wish, or press the OK button again to enter a dedicated menu for it. Where this system gets really clever though is that when you press the OK button again, you can actually use the direction arrows to move this highlighter all the way around and choose whichever setting you want. So let's change a few settings now. Let's change the ISO perhaps to 200, the white balance from auto to daylight, maybe the picture mode from natural to vivid, and perhaps the autofocus system from single to continuous. Now, in the same way as our E-410 demonstration, that's an awful lot of features that we just changed there very quickly and easily. So it's fantastic that the E-510 still allows you to do that while also giving you direct access with the buttons as before. One of the unique things about the E-510 is its live view facility, and to activate that you press the monitor button just to the right of the screen. Press it in, you'll hear there that the mirror flipped open, as did the shutter curtain, and now it's exposing the main sensor and providing a live view of the scene in front of you. Like a compact camera, you can now overlay various graphics on the screen. Press the info button once and you get shooting information. Again you get an alignment grid, which you can also switch to other graphics using a menu. And here you have a live histogram. Now that's something that you don't get on most digital SLRs. However, the downside with live view is when it comes to autofocusing, because unfortunately the autofocus system is actually bypassed when the mirror is flipped up. So to autofocus you have to press a button to the upper right of the screen that's labelled AEL and AFL. Here's what happens when you press it. Now what happened there is the mirror actually flipped back down again to take a reading, then flipped back up again to continue the live view facility. And it took a couple of seconds, and of course it made a sound. Anyone around you will just think that you took a photo there, so it's not particularly discreet, but it is a fairly unique feature to have nonetheless. Now you'll notice in the middle of this screen that there's actually a green rectangle. This is the manual focus assistance mode, And this is another handy feature that's kind of inherited from compact cameras. It allows you to enlarge a section on the screen for closer inspection. You can also move it around, so I'm going to just move it here to the mountain edge there, press the OK button, and you'll see this area greatly magnified. This helps you manually focus. This is actually 10 times closer than it was before. But the other thing it's showing is how much I'm shaking now. And of course the other major unique feature of the E-510 is its built-in image stabilization system. So this gives us a great opportunity to try it out in practice. If I press the dedicated IS button on the back of the camera, you'll see the various IS options here. Currently it's off, and we have IS mode 1 and 2. Mode 1 is for general use and mode 2 is for when you're panning. It actually only stabilizes the vertical axis. So we're going to choose mode 1, activate it, and you'll see that it's not made a scrap of difference. That's because the IS mode only activates when you take the picture. However, if you press and hold the IS button, you can see a preview of what you'd get. So here goes. And there you can see that is much steadier than before. You'll now see that it's gone off. This preview only lasts for a couple of seconds, so let's switch it on again to show you. There it goes. So that's pretty effective in practice, and we're going to have a demonstration of how well that works on some more powerful lenses in the future. Now, just before concluding this demonstration, I'd like to show you some features in playback. If I press the play button, here's a picture that we took earlier. Now this picture was taken in the portrait aspect ratio, and one of the neat things about the E-510, like the E-410, is that if you turn the body, the picture flips to fill the screen. So that's pretty handy. One of the other things you can do is display, obviously, various pieces of information on the screen, shooting information, RGB histograms, brightness histogram, that like the E-410 is a little bit coarse, and also flashing highlight and shadow areas. You can zoom in a great deal on the image, up to 14 times, and you can also zoom out and show varying numbers of thumbnails, first 4, then 9, 16, and finally 25. The Olympus E-510 is certainly one of the most feature-packed digital SLRs to date, and if you're in the market for a new digital SLR, it'll probably tick almost all the boxes on your list, and some more besides. 10 megapixels, you've got it. Decent kit lens, it comes with one. Anti-dust, it's built in. Anti-shake, it's built in. Live view, you maybe haven't really thought about it, but it's a genuinely useful feature to have in practice, and the E-510 also has it. So, does this make the E-510 the ultimate digital SLR? Well, yes and no. There are of course some downsides to it, many of which are to do with the 4/3 standard on which it's based. There's no denying that the optical viewfinder is a little bit smaller and darker than what you'll find on rival digital SLRs, and the manual focusing system is slightly odd if you're used to the more conventional mechanical systems of other digital SLRs. It also has to be said that while built-in image stabilization is great because it works with any lens you attach, there are also benefits to having it built into the lenses instead. That approach means you can see it through the optical viewfinder, and as we showed in the demonstration, the E-510 uniquely does let you preview the stabilization on the screen, but some people still prefer to see it through the optical viewfinder. And there's perhaps the more important fact that when you have it built into a lens, it can be tailored specifically for that lens. Let's say you've got a very powerful model, very long focal length. Well, with built-in stabilization, it can be tailored exactly for that degree of magnification. Whereas, when it's built into the body, there's still only a fixed amount of compensation that it can offer, regardless of the lens you attach. So, pros and cons to weigh up, and we've compared the E-510 against some key models, including the E-410 and the Canon EOS 400D Rebel XTI at the Camera Labs website. There you'll find some very revealing images about how this performs, especially at high ISOs compared to the competition. So, to check out whether this really is the ultimate digital SLR and the one that should be at the top of your shopping list, or maybe a little further down, then head over to www.cameralabs.com and have a look at our full review.